Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, also writing as Jennifer K. Lambert, author of epic fantasy romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Today is Monday, May 4th, 2026, and I'm laughing because I have a cat here on my desk, and he's spotted something exciting outside. I'm not sure what he wants. He might want to go out, but Killian's so much better. He's feeling so much better. And he's being very lovey. I think he understands that I helped him to feel better, and he is appreciative. Uh, so, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to refer to last week's podcast. I won't go into the whole thing again, but yeah, it's a good kitty. Do you want to go out? We'll wait and see. Ah, so let's see. Monday, doing podcasts today because tomorrow I fly to San Antonio in the morning. Just a whirlwind trip. I'm going to San Antonio for the Mountains and Plains Booksellers Association spring conference. I get there midday. Gonna stay near the Riverwalk, which is great. I love that. I haven't been there since the RWA conference there years ago. Um, and I am going to hang out for a little bit that afternoon, and then uh, I'm on a thing that evening, a panel. Sorry, I'm being distracted by scratching a cat. I probably shouldn't be doing that. Uh, and then fly back Wednesday morning. So it's kind of cool that I get to do these events to promote Among the Thorns, uh, but that don't take a really long time to do. I like these short things. If I could have, I would have spent a little extra time in San Antonio, but I wanted to get back for my therapy appointment. Did I mention I'm in therapy now? Um, I need a hashtag, right? Did I mention? Because my therapist is going to be gone for 6 weeks after this. So I have to like get in the last bits of angst and advice. So, and then on the weekend, on Saturday, I'm going to fly to Tucson and just go to Tucson for 2 nights, but spend Mother's Day with my mom. Taking her out to a very nice place for brunch. So that will be lovely. And my stepsister Hope and brother in law Galen are going to join us. So it'll be really nice, I think. I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of Among the Thorns, there is a Goodreads giveaway going on as we speak. It's going May 4th to May 25th. They're giving away 50 copies of Among the Thorns. Uh, they might be finished copies because release date's coming. The notice I got doesn't say, but link is in my Instagram bio. And yeah, go find it there. Go find it on Instagram. Who knows if I put it anywhere else? I'll try. I'll put it in the show notes. There we go. Between those two things, you ought to be able to find it. So today is a busy day. It's all about the grooming, or at least in one aspect. Appointment wise, I have to get my hair done, although it doesn't look terrible. But yeah, the hair I didn't get done because of this one and his veterinary emergency last week, and I have to get my nails done. That's really important stuff, people. So, and also finishing Blade's books on the Bandit. I guess that's is that burying the lead? I mean, it's not definitive. I keep having to pause to sneeze. Allergies are going this morning. At least I'm not explosively sneezing in your ears this time. So, I I'm almost done. I think I'm done. I mean, I think the end is in sight. I know none of this sounds definitive, but I have at worst 3 chapters left to write, and I think maybe it's just 1. Um, it ended up the story ended up finishing faster than I thought. Uh, I don't know how to it just, yeah, there ended up not being that much more to the stories. It took some surprising twists. I did post to Threads yesterday that, there is something I put in there just because I thought it would mess with y'all's minds. Ha 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 ha. Uh, so yeah, it took some surprising turns. I think partly because it's the middle book of the trilogy. It's just sometimes the story does what it does. So I think I only have, um, well, so right now I am at just shy of 70,000 words, and I think it's going to end up being around 70,000 words long. Um, I'm going to look back over what I've done the last couple of days. I did work all weekend, but it's feeling good, and I don't want to pad it with a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be there. So I thought I was going to be writing the whole time on the airplane, but I think I'm probably going to have it done today. Amazing. And send it off for proofreading. So, um, but that's me barring me figuring out something is wrong or that but I even like went over my story notes and I think I've tied up all of the threads. And I could throw in a few more scenes, but I don't like it when books are padded. I was talking with a friend of mine that I had recommended Tainted Cup to by Robert Bennett Jackson, and he said that his only complaint was that it's too long. Uh, and I think that's probably the fantasy aspect that's feeling long to him. He feels like it's long for a detective novel, murder mystery kind of thing, which is probably fair. It's 400 pages. Um, and he said that that's longer than is typical for murder mystery type thing. That is, of course, not long for epic fantasy. So I think this is the kind of thing that happens when you go cross genre. Uh, and the thing about the Fast and the Fae books is they're meant to be kind of, well, fast and kind of romps. And I'm letting the story, as always, letting the story be what it wants to be and not forcing it to be something else. So that's still, with a lot of books coming in at around 80,000 words. 70,000 is a little short, but also, um, I swear I'm not rushing the ending. So I know how y'all feel about that. Other news, I finished reading Night Tide by the inimitable Lexi Ryan, and people, this book is so good. It's so good. Oh, it is it is difficult to describe books without using what feels like overdone language, but this book is unusual. It's in a delightful, wonderful way. It is emotional and romantic and full of these fantastic epic themes, and the premise, the magic is really fresh feeling, and even though twisty, it's I want to say unique. It's a new thing. It's not the same thing that you've been reading over and over again, but it's going to give you all of the world and romance and dramatic feels that you want. And I'm really impressed. Lexi has just knocked this out of the park. It's fantabulous. So I need to write up a blurb for her on that. But it's yeah, really, really terrific book. You can't wait to read it. Go pre-order. Did I get in there? Go pre-order it now. There's now cat on my keyboard. Oh, sorry. Well, we're just having comedy of errors this morning. Apparently, it was still going. Probably because I touched the keyboard. But we are so happy with recently resurrected cat that we are not going to deprive him of his determination to romp all over my keyboard and disrupt the podcast. If Sydney were still editing, these things would be edited out. But she's not. And here we are. Yes, hi. Yeah. And I think I have cat hair in my coffee too, but I even have a mug that says something like everything tastes better with cat hair in it. Okay, so other things. My brain is really consumed with this book. It was good to spend the whole weekend on it and just have some really concentrated time. I did achieve my goal of not leaving the house past the end of the driveway. I did wheel the garbage bin out, but otherwise, yeah, it was good to get that focus, get it all done, mostly done. So I'm feeling good about it. I'm surprised. I really expected to be kind of miserable this morning and not podcasting and just um, banging my head on the keyboard. So it's nice to feel good about it. There's been a fair amount of drama in the the Threads book world lately. Uh, I just I can't even. There is an author who um, some of the things that have been going on. I did see somebody comment saying, it's not every day that you see several authors torpedo their careers on social media, but apparently it was this week. Um, do people forget like that I think people forget that they are seen on social media. It's this weird thing. Uh, one author sent herself hate mail to drum up support for her book, and then was caught out using that exact same dummy account that she was pretending to get hate mail from to do an international giveaway um, with other indies involved, and then made herself be the winner. So that was cute. This is as summarized by a friend of mine. She's more succinct, so I thought I would just use her wording. Uh, then this is really interesting because it's a memoirist. Her book came out last year, and she insisted on social media. Um, and and first of all, let us all note that her book has almost certainly not earned out. People have ways of telling, but the sales record indicate that it will have not have earned out its advance yet. Anyway, she went on social media saying that every author who receives a six-figure deal uh, spends at least $50,000 of their own money on publicity. And I mean, like, doubled down when other people said no, that they hadn't done it. Uh, and I mean, she was insistent. So maybe she spent 50,000 of her own money on publicity, which I hope not, because it sure didn't work. Because the book hasn't done all that great. I'm sorry to be catty about that. But when you go on and you yell at people and say that you know that something is true, and other people politely say this is not their experience, and you insist that you know better than they do, um, not a good look. And you deserve what you get. Um, I am going to definitively say that A, Tor Bramble gave me a 6-figure deal for Never the Roses and Among the Thorns. Uh, it was my first 6-figure deal. I love it. Um, I have not spent half of that. I've not, well, we don't know how many 6 figures, but mine was exactly 6 figures. I'll just tell you, it was 100,000 for the 2 books because transparency is important. We kept foreign rights, but yes, they gave me 100,000 for the 2 books, and I'm very happy with that number. I know that other people will say, well, Schmuck About Bobo's got $1 million. And it's like, okay, great, but it's very good for me because I have already earned out that advance. And while it's great to get money up front, it's also great to earn out your advance and be continuing to get more money. We like the ongoing money. It helps, pay that ongoing mortgage. Unless I get enough money to flat pay off the house, this is how I would like it to go. I have not spent $50,000 of my own money. Quite the reverse. I am spending a lot less money on publicity because Tor Bramble is doing it for me. And I love them for it. It's fantastic. And they've invested in the books, and this is part of the deal. They're also paying for me to go do things like this Mountains and Plains Booksellers event that I'm going to tomorrow. They buy the plane tickets, they pay for the hotel, they reimburse me for my, ride share and for my meals. And it's great. And I appreciate it. But this is part of why you do a traditional publishing deal, is because they're paying for the stuff. You don't have to pay for it. Um, do I do a lot of my own promo? Yes. Um, do I do $50,000 worth of paid stuff? No. And some of you asked because I didn't complete my thought, shockingly enough, last week on why is this my last Apolycon? Well, 2 reasons. One, they've moved it. Maybe it's 3 reasons. I'm going to go with 3 reasons. I'm of 3 minds, like a tree in which there are 3 blackbirds. Um, they moved the date. It's now in August, and I have several conflicts at that time. Other things that I had planned. We sort of end up keeping a certain slot in the year for these things. And when they move it, it gets difficult. Because they're moving it, a lot of us are dubious about how well attended it will be. Maybe it'll be great, but to me, this kind of falls under my rule of not doing first time conferences. It's not a first time conference, but it's going to be the first time at that time of year. And I'm wondering how it will go because the growing emphasis on influencers rather than readers has made a Polycon, I don't know, maybe not as useful as it used to be. And, I do think that these things tend to mine out their audiences, and a lot of newer people can't get tickets to go to it. So it's a lot of the same people. The influencers seem to be really interested in promoting their own influence. A lot of the social media I'm seeing from them is about their great community and how much fun they had and how far they had to walk and the things that they wore to the ball and everything, and not so much about the books and authors. There's some of that, but um, I don't blame them for wanting to expand their own influence because that's the name of the game, right? But also, is that is that good for my career, right? Which is what it comes down to for me. I have to think about that. And then the last thing is because I'm in this very privileged, fortunate place right now where Tor Bramble is paying for me to go to events, and a Polycon is expensive for me. And why am I spending my own money doing something when I could let them spend their publishing money and trust them to target really good events for me? Mountains and Plains independent booksellers, very happy to go and talk to these folks because they're the ones who are hand selling my books in their stores. Uh, the influencers, charming, delightful people, are they selling books for me? Hard to say. I'm a few of them are, and I really try to support back those people, but, yeah, it comes down to business decisions, right? So, on that note, that's where I'm standing on things. Um, I hope that you all have a terrific week. I probably will do a podcast on Thursday this week if all goes well. We'll see. Um, thank you for all the good wishes, good thoughts. We're all happy Killian's better. And and I will talk to you all on Thursday, probably, maybe, almost certainly. You all take care. Bye bye.